Hello, my name is Brandi Hofer, your host of the Color Me Happy podcast. I am so glad you're here. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. If you want more weekly content just like this, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We cannot wait for you to be a part of our community here, and you can join our free community on Facebook. It is about empowering your community through your creativity, and we want you to be there. I am Brandi. I am a Canadian artist, author, mother, and educator, obviously podcaster, because I'm here chatting with you right now. We talk about on the podcast everything from scaling your business from 0 to 6 figures, motherhood, lots of women's health, very unfiltered conversations there. We have on some extremely amazing guests. I don't even know how I talked to them really, but they said yes. And we want to talk about we want to empower you. We want to talk about those things. We want to empower you to reach out to people who you never thought you'd talk to, ask for opportunities that you never thought you'd get, because we want you to see your everyday as extraordinary, just as we have. We shifted from being like this ho-hum kind of victim complaining kind of person with terrible money mindset, really bad, hiding like money mindset books under my, like waddling around pregnant, hiding my mindset book, money mindset book, being ashamed of wanting money. But the thing about that is that if you want to grow, if you want to expand, if you want the life that you live, that's one of the things you need that will help you along your way. And then you'll inspire others to do the same. It'll be a really cool journey. So come along with us, and we cannot wait. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram at Brandi Hofer Studios anytime. I'm happy to chat. That's where I sit, and I'm so glad you're here, and I cannot wait for you to dive in. So give us a like and subscribe. I even got fireworks at the end of that. Success! This is the video I'm gonna use. Welcome to Color Me Happy podcast. My name is Brandi, your host. I'm Miranda here at Alt Haus in Saskatoon, and we just did a live recording in their beautiful space. As you can see, we just took our exhibition down here, but it is just off Broadway in Saskatoon, so you can come down anytime and check out this gorgeous space. They have it full of like prints and original artwork, and also really gorgeous furniture that you can view here in person or on their website. Miranda and I actually talked about businesses thriving through rough times and how you succeed moving through those like small steps every day. So I think you will find a ton of value in this podcast, because Miranda and Joe, they are partners, and they're both creatives, designers, muralists, and business owners. So they have a diverse range of income streams, and they make their creativity work in a really inspirational ways, in an inspirational way that impacts their community in an even bigger way. So I can't wait for you to tune into this episode. I know you'll love it. Be sure to join our Color Me Happy community on Facebook. It's free, and you can check out any of our classes or murals or anything else you need, artwork, at brandihofer.ca. But also be sure to check out their website too, and you'll just have to listen to the end of the episode to figure all their contact information out, because this is one space and one online shop that you'll want to hit. No, we haven't. Welcome. Okay, we're recording live from Alt Haus. See, look at my fancy drink there. It's always reversed, so it confuses me. You're like, my hair is not working from this angle, but you pet the wrong side of your head. Alt Haus, where they have gorgeous artwork, really cool furniture, vintage items, great drinks, and I'm welcome with one of the co-owners here, and we just ended one of my exhibitions. Yeah. So I want you to start from, because we had a great opening night. Joe DJ'd, your partner, and it was so fun, and we started talking about like your venture into design. So I really want the listeners to hear about that, and then you really wanted to give them some tips on how to thrive in business, because like it's great
to survive at least.
Yeah, survive. Yeah. Exactly. Because that's part of it. Resilience and like wherewithal and like being a doer instead of like, I wish I could, or if I had this, I would, you know, you're always changing things. You're always revamping this space. You're always bringing in new people and collaboration. So I really want the audience to hear about how you can do that and how you can thrive as a business or keep going even in the harder times, because everyone hit a rough patch. And we just talked about a place closing down. Yeah. Like it happens. It's happening a lot more than usual. So yeah, let's talk about where you went, where you started in design, which is actually really close to where I live.
Yeah. We'll get started on that. I'm Miranda Young.
Yeah, sorry. I'll introduce you in the intro, but perfect. I didn't say it, so good for listeners. Yeah.
I'm Miranda, and I am one of the owners here. And yeah, Alt Haus kind of started a long time ago. If you really like kind of think about it, my mom used to own a furniture store, kind of decor art store, so something kind of similar to this, a little bit different style, but very like similar concept. So from when I was like a young kid, I was working in her shop. And I was raised in Calgary. She had a shop here in Saskatoon, Regina, Moose Jaw, Calgary.
Oh, she
franchised them out. She had a whole thing. And they were awesome shops. And then
what was it called?
Willow Studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So she had all those shops growing up. My dad owned his own business, and so I never really thought it was an option to work for anyone else. I just was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to like do my own thing. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So I went to design school in Vermilion, near you.
Yeah.
Lakeland College.
Yes.
Woo! Exciting. Such an interesting place to go to design school because
I was joking at the opening. I was like, so you and one other?
Yeah. There's like 15 people.
Yeah. But that's good, because then you depend on one another and you make a like long lasting, like, are you in touch with people that long lasting connections and friendships?
Yeah. And
I felt that at going to school in Red Deer College.
Oh yeah.
Like I still talk to that class, that initial group where we were all like, it's something special about it when it's like a smaller kind of a niche program, I guess, or not a niche program, but like smaller programs in colleges, like they're known for agriculture.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was surprised when I was like, they have a design program?
Yeah, no one believes you.
No. Yeah, that's crazy. So where'd you go after that?
Well, before that I went to University of Saskatchewan for a year, and then I went to Vermilion, and then I went and did my internship in Calgary because my parents were living there at the time. I could stay there.
Yeah.
And from there, then I moved to Saskatoon, and I've kind of just been here ever since. So it's been a really good place to be.
Yeah, there are a lot of cool, creative people. And again, that like not huge population or anything. Yeah. Not small like Lloydminster.
But smaller than Calgary.
But smaller than Calgary. Or Edmonton, which I just learned was like at almost 1 million people. I was like, I did not know. I thought it was like 300,000.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, it's huge. It's like Calgary now.
My son was like, there's 1 million people here. And I was like, no, there's not. Because we were at an Oiler game. And he was right. Yeah, he was right. And I was wrong. And I admitted it, which I don't often do. And because mom's always right in our house, for sure.
Fair enough.
Because I am. And yeah, so like when you have a creative population, everyone kind of knows each other, which I know they have in Edmonton because my brother's part of that scene, which is great. But it allows you to like work together and know, how to support one another, or what person's doing, or who needs like people on this night to fill their thing, or you know what I mean?
It's kind of like a little fish, big pond, big fish, little pond thing.
Yeah.
So it's like in a city like Saskatoon, you can kind of like do more. Whereas when I was like living in Calgary, it was kind of like you went to work and then you went home, and like you didn't have any time or space or capacity or money to do anything else.
It's so isolating.
Right? And it's like you're driving like 45 minutes to work. It's just like, it just takes so much time to get here and there that you don't really do that much. Mm-hmm. Unless you're living like central, right?
Right.
But here you can just like, I don't know, you can do everything. right? And
it feels like a small town, but in a big city with like cute city perks.
Yes,
like,
exactly. It definitely does.
Yeah, I like it. I've had more Saskatchewan connections creatively than in Alberta at all, because I think it is. I think like it's a big, like Calgary's so big and it can feel isolating. In any city, big city, I think more people feel isolated now more than ever. Like that lack of community mindedness.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Because things work when you do work together and you do collaborate. Yeah. Like, so did you come up with the space on your own, or did you come up with that when you and Joe got together?
Yeah, so it kind of started, like I worked at some architecture firms and like design firms before this. And so I was doing interior design work on my own. And then I started Alt Haus as an interior design firm. And then that was before I knew Joe, but like we weren't dating, we weren't working together or anything like that. And then shortly after that, we started seeing each other. And then, well, I guess before that, we started working on projects together. Like I would like hire Joe to do like build a cabinet for me, or like do a mural for me, or hang art with me, just because I was like doing it on my own, and I was doing a lot of kind of decorating projects at that time. And so they helped me with that. And then we both kind of always wanted a shop. And it all came about at like in January of 2020.
Perfect timing for a business.
Yeah, so really perfect timing. Yeah. It was like, sorry. It was terrible timing because we signed a lease in January. We like worked our butts off to get this space together, put all of our money into like getting stock, getting the shop open, working 9 days to finish this. We were in our old location in Riversdale at the time. And then we opened like March, 2 months later in March. And 2 weeks later, the government's like, everyone needs to shut down. Pandemic time. We are in a crisis. And we're like, oh, okay. We were not prepared for this at all. Because, you know, when it was like first starting, it was like, oh, it's probably not going to come here. You know, like you just didn't think it was going to affect you in the way that it did. And so, yeah, our shop got shut down within 2 weeks of being open.
Oh my gosh.
Like
how do you survive that?
Like neither of us had other jobs. Like we were both doing
all
this
in
exclusively. Yeah, all in. And so we just kind of like pivoted. We just kind of, and since the beginning we've just been like pivoting constantly.
I think that's a valuable tool. It's like, it's okay to pivot. This isn't working. Let's try a different workaround. Yeah. Like I think I explained it in my book. It's a while ago. I wrote it during the pandemic. But like, you know, flowing around rocks, like instead of like running and bumping into them and hurting yourself. Yeah, you know? Totally. It's like learning to pivot, and your brain literally works like that. Like just go with it. You can find a solution. I always thought about that. Like the hardest part of life is death and losing other people. And my brain had such a hard time with grief because there was no solution, and it kept searching for solutions. So we're all very capable of figuring out solutions beyond death, because there's no solution. Yeah, totally. There is no, it's like grief. You have to move through grief. Yeah. And time comes along with that. So like, and now I'm like, I've gone through one of the worst things is losing a loved one. Yeah. And no one wants to do it, but like nothing feels as hard. Yeah. Right? Totally. Like there's always like Marie, I think I effed this up last time. I had just finished her audit. Marie Forleo. Yeah. Her books, everything's figure outable, because it literally is. So how did you pivot in that instance when you had to shut down after 2 weeks of being open?
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, certainly. And like the hardest part was that we weren't able to apply for any of the funding. Like we had to continue paying rent.
I think it's a good thing, because now that's coming up to nip people in the butt.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true. And also, like, if we always think, okay, if we can survive that, we can survive anything. Yeah. Right, and so it was just us working there at the time, so we didn't have staff to pay. That was lucky. Or else we would have just had to lay everyone off, and that would have sucked. But I was doing design work still, so that was awesome, because at least I had that. I could keep us going with that. Then Joe had some mural jobs at the time. We were working like with a local business, Citizen at the time. We were doing a mural for them, and like stuff like that. People helping each other out, community kind of pulling through. That was like amazing. And we also decided to start an online store. I've never built a website. Well, I guess I built the website for Alt Haus when it was just designed, just like through a template. But we were like, okay, I guess we're building an online store because we have all this stock is just sitting here. I don't know when we're going to be able to sell it again. We need to do something. So I built that online store from scratch, and we put every single thing we had on that site. We started offering free delivery. We advertised like crazy on Instagram because it was free. And we built like a huge Instagram following and a huge community of people who liked what we were doing and were willing to support us even when everyone else was going through a tough time too.
Yeah.
So like that was amazing. And lots of businesses don't even have like an online store or have like all of their products online, and like that is actually such a blessing because now we're shipping all over the world.
Yeah. So actually the hardest thing that happened, or you thought at that point was the hardest thing, but really it was probably the reason your business has survived now.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
There's no way we would have survived if we hadn't.
Yeah, by the way, they were just hauling out big ass couches. So they sell big, amazing Gus furniture.
Yes.
And from online, right? Like, because your store can't host 20 couches.
Exactly. Yeah. And
so,
we've got
like
huge inventory online of all the stuff we can order, and like that's amazing.
Yeah, and like those sales are like a big difference in your bottom line.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Like a print, you don't maybe make as much, but it's like something that someone can grab and become. And this is what we talk about as artists. And I was actually just having lunch with Amber, who does these beautiful children's books, and she sold all her watercolors and calories down the street.
Oh, nice.
And I bought one, and I was like, she had them up for $75.
Oh my gosh,
with
too
the
cheap.
That's what I said.
Way too cheap.
I was like, I want one, but by the way, these should be double at least.
At least, yeah.
And she's like, they were just under my stairs, and I wanted to get rid of them.
Fair enough.
Right, and she's like, they were all for my books anyway.
Yeah.
So they were illustrations in her books.
That's
with
cool.
This small little, and they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
They still would have been cheap at $150.
Yeah.
In my like
for
art
sure.
collector's eyes.
Yeah.
Like. And she would have sold a lot. And she knows that. But what we're talking about is those small sales, and why I love the season of burnout for myself, because everything is like setting you up for what's next. The season of burnout, and I made 130 pieces. Well, I had probably 100 new collectors in that time.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
They are your best return customers. So someone, it's like an entry level offer, and they're like picking something up, and then they follow you on social media, or they join your mailing list, and then they get these reminders, and you're like, oh, I do want that from their shop. And I will come to them when I, like you said, I can't get a couch now because I have disgusting kids. And I love Gus Modern Furniture. Is it Gus Modern or just Gus now?
Gus Modern.
Gus Modern Furniture, and we have one, but it's destroyed. But when I do want one, I will come to you.
Yeah.
Like that is, the small offers are what gets the people, that builds your clientele. It's like, so she just got 20 new collectors from, maybe not selling her stuff for a ton, but they'll probably for sure buy her books and maybe order a piece of art or something else, right?
Yeah,
it's always going to lead to something bigger, and you just don't really see it. Like, I'm sure that season of pivoting felt awful.
Yeah. Oh, it was so stressful.
Devastating.
Yeah. But we made it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're like, piece of cake,
I mean,
not a piece of cake, but like
not a piece of cake, but
running businesses,
it's
like
hard,
everything, but like you love what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
You get out of bed like ready to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
The thing is, like, I wouldn't rather do anything else.
Right.
I wouldn't rather work for someone else. And neither
The
would Joe.
worst.
So it's like, we need to just make it work, right?
Yeah.
So we need to just keep pivoting and make our shop work because we don't want to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to shut it down.
No.
So it's like you need to just do everything you can to survive through the ebbs and flows, and like be like, oh, okay, maybe this thing is selling, this thing isn't selling. Okay, phase out that thing, bring more of this thing in. Like, what can we afford to bring in right now? Okay, bring more of that in, you know, and just being flexible, right? And like bringing the vintage clothing in.
Paying attention.
Super awesome, right? It's like, oh, people want vintage clothing. People want
I got two items here
and they're awesome.
Last time. Yeah, I love them.
It's like, I want to be like sustainable, and I want to be like, you know, I want to make sure that we can like contribute to just the world's surviving too, you know? So like, what do we do in our little bubble to help with that?
Your why is important. So you're doing it for yourself, but you're also, like, there's bigger meaning to it. Like why you want it to succeed, because a community of people depend on you thriving and having a safe space for them, and wanting to, you know, interact with you and support you, and it like goes back and forth. And I love, like, the feeling that you get when you're in here is such a good feeling. Yeah. And I know a ton of people didn't come to the opening, but enough did, and they were amazing people.
Yeah, totally.
Who I would have never met otherwise. Yeah. And it was super, super special. And we're talking about my friend Amanda, who had the Root in Lloydminster, and like, it takes people to do these things. Yeah. Like, they opened that space, and it was full of music and good food and art and everything in between. And like, if there was no people behind it putting in the work and the time, and that it's their passion, supporting it, like, it's just not, it just won't happen. Like, everyone says, oh, we need like a better downtown, or our communities need to be, it takes people with heartbeats showing up every day, like, to provide those spaces.
And it takes people supporting them.
And I think it's mostly art, like, it's creatives, it's creative thinkers. Like, as you know, like, murals are very impactful. And they do make a difference. In so many ways. Like, obviously they look cool in design, but they also change community spaces in the way they feel in a very public way. I always say they turn any space into a thriving public destination. Because they do. Like, my one mural gets 10,000 hits a year or whatever. Like, 10,000 people
click.
Like, taking amazing. Photos, and it's crazy. Like, and so just, if any conglomerates are listening, which they're not.
They might be.
You can dip into your ad budget for those types of support local creatives, because they have like out of the box thinking and ideas to get people to interact with your space in a very organic way, which people love to be when they feel a part of something. It's stronger.
Yes,
right?
Totally.
And you're very inclusive in your space, so then people feel part of what you're doing, and they feel invested, and they want to see you succeed and thrive. Yeah.
Totally. And that person that comes in to buy, you know, a $5 sticker is going to be there with you the whole time, right? And like, and they're just as valuable as someone coming in and buying a sofa. Yeah. You know, and like everyone, like, just making sure that everyone, like, every single person that comes into your space feels valued and respected and welcomed, and like, and that's like so crucial. Like, that's such a big part of our business, and making people feel inspired, right? And like, just feel happier when they leave. Like, lots of people come here after therapy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Strange. I love it. No, I love it. There's like a therapy office behind us, and they'll just come in. You can tell, because people are vulnerable. They're raw after they've been to therapy, and they'll come in. They're like, okay, I just needed that little walkthrough after my therapy, and now I'm like good.
Yeah, a little like, chat with the human where I'm not like unloading all my huge issues.
Yeah, it's just like I can just like enjoy the color and like feel uplifted and.
Yeah, so I got so many messages. Like, people were excited that I was in your space. They're like, that is the coolest space. I'm like, I agree.
Oh,
it is
so
very
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
And even my friend who owns Hideout Distro.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just met her.
Oh, Tori.
Yeah. She's so great.
Yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, that is the coolest place.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So we're junior high friends.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's so nice. I went to Edmonton like 2 weeks ago, and made a point of going there and met her, and she's so nice.
Yeah, two like very similar shop, like minded sort of things, and she's always like that too. Is like, I don't know if you were like that as a young, like she always like did stuff in her room and like decorated little like spaces for sleepovers, because we had a lot of sleepovers.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so it like very much suits her personality too.
Totally.
To like, I'm just gonna arrange this so people enjoy it.
Yeah, me and Joe were definitely always like that too. Just like always making your space like so curated and like it's cute.
Yeah, and people appreciate it, and like, because people don't always, actually a ton of people don't have that like instinct of like how to put it together or make it extra special. Like, I think I pretty much hated the period of modern white everything.
Yes.
I kind of liked it because if people did it right, like if they included color
and
wood
and
and made it
materials.
warm, but if they went like white and gray and stuff, I was just like, I hate this period.
Too sad.
That's when her house was built.
Yeah.
But everyone walks into her house and they're like, ooh, this is so, I've never been in a place like this before.
Totally.
Because it's like, it's got wood beams and like a bunch of shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Because my mom passed away, so like I also got a lot of her stuff. And, but like, it's like, someone described it once. One of my art collectors came in and they're like, it feels like home in here. And I was like, thank you.
That's a great thing. Yeah, like that's what you want.
I had also just made biscuits, so I'm sure that helped.
That always helps.
Yeah, fresh homemade biscuit smell.
Nice.
Yeah, and like art, like people are stunned when they see like art in a home.
Yeah,
it's not normal apparently.
Yeah,
but I have a bunch because.
Well, yeah.
Creatives, you're like, I'll trade you this or send me this. Like, I've got tons of huge artists. Like, I think are huge. Yeah. No one else knows who they are. But like, I've got Andrew Salgado's and like really cool pieces from like London and New York, because I'm just like, hey friend, you want to trade? Like, I'm obsessed with this piece. Do you like any of mine? Yeah. And they just trade. Like,
and there's always
they're
something.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and like, they can also say no. Andrew said no to me 3 times before then
really?
agreeing.
And you just kept going. I love that. Good for you.
I had gotten one of his pieces, and then we like talked more, and he's been on my podcast. He's very Andrew. I don't know any way else to explain him, but finally I had sent them art once. I don't even think they even noticed, and then I sent them art again, and then he sent me some back. It takes persistence.
It does, yeah.
But don't annoy anyone. But like, he was fine. It's just like sometimes people, literally with bigger followings and accounts, just don't see it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't see stuff.
No.
You know, like
and our accounts aren't like gigantic or anything.
Yeah.
You just have lots of emails and orders and calls and life.
Yeah.
And just like keep trying and like researching them and like seeing and whatever. It's just, creatives will support you no matter what. And I talked about this, I think, it'll be on yes, I have it coming out. It's coming out on Friday, but it will be out by the time this podcast is out. It's so hard to figure out timelines. I talked about it in our episode of like asking for opportunities, because no one's going to show up and do it for you.
Yeah, totally.
Right? So I'm sure, do you have like a specific, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, story where you had to ask for an opportunity that got you into a position of, do you have a story?
Literally every job I've ever had in my whole life, I've really gotten in there, and I'm like, you never get a job unless you like show up and like follow up and check
prove
in,
that you can do it.
You know, because so many people just drop off resumes. You know, it happens all the time. But it's the people that come and talk to you and email you and say, hey, just wanted to make sure you got my resume. I'd really like to work here. That was me.
Yeah.
When I was
good for you.
When I was like starting in the job field, and like I remember my first job, I got that job because I made them brownies. Like I literally made them brownies. Like, and
they're like, worked. We want more brownies. You know, like these brownies are good.
How are you gonna stand out? And you do it now.
Or if they could bring me brownies like once a month.
Cool. That sounds great.
Yeah.
But in like more recent context, we just did the furniture for the Kingsman Lottery show home.
Cool.
And Joe did some murals for there. So that was definitely an opportunity that I kind of put, not in like an aggressive way, but like I pushed kind of our furniture, and because they kind of came to us first looking for some murals, which was amazing, like so exciting. We worked on a couple Kingsman Lottery show homes, and they're always really, it's a big opportunity because so many people are seeing it, and the photos, like everything is just gorgeous.
Cool.
Great portfolio work, right?
Yeah.
And so we had these murals lined up already. And then I was like, hey, like, where are you guys at for furniture? Can we help in any way? Like, do you have pieces lined up? I can, like, make you some mood boards. You know, I can help.
Which all your designing comes in on that.
Yeah. And they were like, actually, yeah, like, let's see what you come up with. This is what we have so far. And I was like, okay. And then, like, designed this whole house in, like, a week, right? Like, so I just did it. And I put pedal to the metal. And I was like, okay, this piece, you know, like, what's in stock? Like, let's get this. And we did it. And now, like, most of the furniture in there was from us. And, like, that was, like, so
that's a big
helpful.
Deal. Yeah. That's a big deal.
It was a big job. And I'm hoping we're also going to be working on the next one with a different builder. So, like, that's a huge stepping stone for us. And it's amazing that I can, like, do the design work and stuff, too, and, like, help pick up pieces. And we're not just like, okay, here's our catalog. It's like, okay, what's going to look good together?
People need to visualize it. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, putting together packages, not only asking for an opportunity, but following up. Yeah. And then putting together a package of what you mean, because people rarely know what you're talking about. Because in your imagination, in my imagination, I know what I mean. But they don't know what you mean at all.
They don't know Miranda speak.
No, like very not good communicator in that way. It'll just be amazing. Trust me.
Yeah, just trust me.
Trust me. Which I do have a lot of supporters and like have worked with me, and they're like, we do trust you. Go for it.
Yeah. But you need to get the trust first.
Yeah. It took a long time to get those relationships and get the like, I just pitched something yesterday. I was like, this is my idea. And then I'm like, but I'll put a package together. Just hold on. Right?
Yeah, totally.
And so rarely do you get those big jobs unless you put packages together, ask for it, have had a long-standing relationship. Yeah. Like these opportunities don't just come out of the blue. They take sometimes years of prep and work, and people need to understand that. And the great thing is that it's like another revenue income stream, and it's really empowering because like you got a really good feeling, and that was really awesome. And now you want to do more big projects like that. It's like it's like a building block to like what you can do and taking it further and just adding pieces. And now you know you can. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And you keep expanding. I'm obsessed with this book. I talk about it all the time, and my listener are probably like, ugh. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. Okay. It was written in the late 1800s by Wallace D. Wattles. Okay. Best name ever. Something like that. Crazy. Yeah, he predicted air travel in the future. Like people he said people will be doing this every day. He was right. They do. That's crazy. Yeah, like he's like, they will fly. It'll just be this normal thing. Yeah. I'm like, this guy there's something too. It's like just over 100 pages, and it's just like it's basically like if you can create and visualize something in your mind using like gratitude, like he talks a lot about gratitude, manifestation, and just holding on to that, and then being a certain type of person. And it's just so simple, but it's so hard. Right? It's like that it's not just easy saying I'm going to be grateful and all it'll work out. It's just you believe that like say you like want like $100,000 in your bank account to like be like
comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable. Yeah. You like don't feel so like amazing. Panicked, right? Or just like I already have that $100,000 and it's there, and I am going to go on a trip this year because I have that $100,000. Like, what would you look like in that certain life? What clothes would you wear? What kind of person would you be? And how would that person act? Yeah. And then so like when you think of like what you're doing, it's like, how would this designer who did these lottery homes and got paid this amount of money and I didn't have to hustle and get jobs, what would that person be, act, and look like? Yeah. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in these positions. And then he even says in the book, like, and I was listening to the audio version because I'd never done the audio version. I've read it like 5 times. The physical version, I just read a little bit every day. And I've been listening to the audio, and I was like, the audio is even better because it's read by a woman.
Nice.
And so it doesn't feel like, because he uses he a lot. And it's hard for,
I don't like
and
that.
there's a little bit of religious stuff in it. But like, everyone's different, but like, and everyone kind of believes in something bigger than themselves usually.
Yeah.
And so it's still like very applicable to your life, and it just empowers you, and it's like a really great reminder of the person you need to be every day, and that you have to do things without haste, but in an efficient, effective manner, while holding on to your vision. Like, it's just so great. I'm like, I think it's the only thing I'll ever need to read or listen to that really matters.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's great.
It's old.
Yeah.
It's old as shit.
Yeah.
But it somehow still works. Because with those things, like with living that in that state, like the money just comes. Like, it's not something you have to worry about. Yeah. And it's an attest to like how I went from making minus 1,000 to like surpassing my husband's income this year.
Amazing.
Like, it just comes with, you know, kind of, I was always like really like victim-y and self-doubt and not worth like, turns out you need money to grow and to support community and to, you know? Yeah. So, I don't know, did you ever struggle with like self-worth or anything like that, like early on?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's
every
always,
day.
It's always a struggle, right? It's like, it's always like, it's hard when you're running something like this, like, it's hard to survive. Yeah. Right? Like, every month it's like, okay, you need to pay this much, and you get so, like, sometimes you just get so caught up in, like, all of the bills and, like, all of the stress, and, like, it can be so hard. Like, it's, and there are, defeating. No matter what, you're going to hit a season like that and feel terrible. Like, and it's mostly in so January and February. Cause it's like, the last few months have been very stressful, because it's just, you know, it's constant pressure, like just pressure all the time. But we continue to, like, push ourselves to not get caught up in that, and, like, to continue to, like try to envision, okay, what do we want our life to look like? What do we want our store to look like? What do we want our impact to be? What do we want Alt Haus to be? You know, and, like, we're not going to stop until we get there. Yeah. Right? And it's like the, and then that will change. Drive and hope. And it will, exactly. That will change too. What Alt Haus was for you 3 years or 2 years ago is different than what you want it to be today. Totally. And that will change again, right? Yeah. You're always changing and evolving and growing. And this year I was like, my next goal is to be comfortable enough to leave somewhere hot in January. Yes. Like, that is the goal. Or February. Yes. So then I don't have to, like, you can, like, just read a book and be near water. Yes, that's exactly what I need as well. Just, we live in a place where the winters are very long. Yes. And it was a weird winter. And it, for some reason, even though it was mild in January, like, I think then got cold. I think it hit everyone harder. Yeah. Like, there's not one person I've talked to where they were like, I was, like, sick. I, like, lost my hair. I, like, everything. Yeah. Like, it was a tough one. And I think, like, the economy, like, is so hard right now, right? And, like, interest rates have gone up, and, like, people's mortgages and rent have gone up, and, like, cost of living, definitely. Cost of living, like, food, you know, like, all of these things have gotten harder, and our wages haven't gone up. Yeah. Right? So, like, how do you change that? I do have an answer. Wallace D. Waddles actually has an answer. No, he does. And he's like, you can't sit and talk about or worry about poverty. Yeah. It's like, those people will be inspired by you living your best life. Yeah. So if you focus on that vision of the life that you live and you start embodying it, then that's more helpful than, say, you giving someone a loaf of bread because they're full for that day. Yeah. But if they see you living... But how do we give back to our community in a way that's, like... You already are. Helping. Yeah, and I know I do. Yeah. Yeah, like, we definitely... By thriving. Yeah. Like, you are doing that. You're doing that with your employees. Like, I saw it the night of the opening. Like, a lot of them are creatives, and they're just... You can show them the path. Yeah, to, totally. Like, you're much more, like... To someone down here, you're extremely successful. Yeah. Right? Yeah, for sure. You're maybe not at the success you personally want. Yeah, for sure.
and you're very critical.
Yeah.
But you're very successful to many people.
Yeah.
And
so
you
grateful.
will help them.
Yeah.
That's the way you give back.
Yeah. Totally.
And by showing up for people, like time is a really great way to give back. Like volunteerism is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like that's how I actually started like growing I realized I could teach.
Yeah.
And that came through a woman, a very amazing community-minded woman in Lloydminster, Lana Lane. She's been on the podcast, and she was a board member of LRHF. She asked me to volunteer with their youth. And then that all of a sudden like snowballed into me doing education, and that's one of my main like income streams and one of my favorite parts of everything I do. Totally. I had a limiting belief as a creative that I couldn't be a successful artist if I was a teacher. Yeah. And so
which is not true.
Dumb. Yeah, super dumb. Yeah. And it was holding me back for like a decade.
Yeah.
And so like I figured that out through volunteering and giving my time.
Yeah.
And the way you're living your life is giving back to others, because you wouldn't be able to do that if you were sitting in like a version of yourself that was, my store shut down because we gave up.
Yeah. Totally.
It wasn't working.
Yeah.
Food costs have gone up.
Yeah.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can we do to, like, expand ourselves more? Mm-hmm. That's what Wallace D. Waddle says.
Yeah.
And I actually believe it.
Yeah.
I truly, like, somehow I pivoted my art career into, making minus 1,000 to what it is. And hopefully it keeps going. Like, I don't know. If it doesn't, I'll figure out a way, like, to make it work, because it's possible.
Yeah.
In so many ways. So I love that. Can you talk about too, like, I probably helps, and I'm just getting this, is the diverse income streams. Like not just having income from one.
Yes, that has been like so helpful. Because if we were just like waiting on people to come into the store and that was it, and we didn't have any other stuff going on, it would be way harder, right? And like one part of it's like if I was at the shop every day and we didn't have like staff and stuff, like it would be different, right? And it would be a different experience, but we wouldn't be able to grow in the way that we are, and like make the next steps that we are doing and like be at the level that we are at if we didn't have like staff at the shop working, right? And like helping us grow and become bigger than ourselves, right?
Yeah,
and, like,
setting up a system and hiring people.
And me being able to do my design work and Joe being able to do their murals, and like having all of those things going all at once.
Like you're still having to, you're having money like going into employees, which was probably a huge shift. Shift at first, like scary to do.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
How are we going to pay people?
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Into this is how we pay people.
Yeah.
We get more jobs.
Yeah. Exactly.
And jobs where, we don't feel like it's fun as a creative because you get to make up your own jobs.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah, totally.
And like, so you're not bored, because I feel like if we sat in doing the one thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm
so ADHD. I couldn't now
I know.
Do one thing. Like.
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, I don't think I would
I'm undiagnosed. I'm self-diagnosed ADHD.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
I know.
It's obvious.
Yes, it's pretty. I think it's pretty misdiagnosed for young people who grew up and like were like there in class, not disrupting, but just there because they didn't want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah.
But like doodling.
Totally. No, 100%. I think we're the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then when you did get a project that like lit that spark, you like got 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But like the rest was like, holy shit, I hate this.
Yeah.
This is I'm just gonna have like a mini mind nap right now.
Yeah, totally.
And
like chemistry? No, that ain't it.
I walked out of the first day of physics.
Exactly.
I was like, there's no way in this world that I will understand. Like, I didn't know what you just wrote on the board with that triangle.
Yeah, what are you even talking about right now?
And I looked at everyone else. I was like, are you guys getting this? Like, what is happening right now? And then I went into agriculture. Those were the two class options.
Yeah.
But Mr. Campbell was like, all you need for this class is your crayons. I'm like, I am the right spot.
Perfect.
This is the spot for me. He's like, we're going to draw some cow corrals. I was like, sweet. I will draw cow corrals for you.
Yeah.
And cows? sketch away.
That's so funny.
I know. It was like, I don't know if he had given up or like why this class was there.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for it because I would have failed at physics for sure. But yeah, it's like, and I think it's like definitely a thing because people are medicated for it. But I think that if systems are set up in a little bit of a different way, and I think they're changing and evolving, young people, it is just a different way of thinking, and it's a creative mind who can thrive if they've got stuff to focus on.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
That interests them. You have to like be constantly curious and like getting rewarded for it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But like to find a career that like can satisfy all those parts of you that you love, you know, like the creativity, the design, the people, the socializing, like the coffee, like everything is all kind of together, and it's like that's the sweet spot, right? And like for you too, it's like, okay, I love being around kids, I love teaching, I love doing art, I love doing murals, but
only for short periods of time,
and that's okay.
Yeah, I can't be around kids for too long,
right? Like,
and then I get tired.
Yeah,
like I love them, but then I get really tired.
Totally.
So I have my own.
Super fair.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
But then muraling, I could, if I just did murals, I would burn out fast.
Oh yeah, it's so hard on the body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like I like doing like 5-year tops, not big ones.
Yeah, totally.
If I had big ones, I think it would be 2 a year. Like the last year one, I was burnt out for at least a month and a half following. Yeah. Like that was insane. Yeah. That was like, it will be easier next time because I'll figure out how to do it more efficiently and effectively. Yeah. But that's what you say. It was so funny and we talked about like living the life that you envision. And during the pandemic, my one son, Teddy, was new baby, and he would sleep like 3 times a day. And then my other son, Finn, chilled so hard that we didn't even know he was around. So Jenny and I, my studio manager, we would just sit and talk about what it could be. And we were like, 2-3 murals a year, podcast. We haven't done art retreats yet. Cool. Like one day maybe. Yeah. And but I didn't know education was on the table, so that's kind of like, and then online classes, and it just all came. You just say it, you want it, and then you start doing stuff, little things every day. Yeah. And it is, and then your energy creates this big, cool thing for your community. Yeah. Totally. And your energy is a great energy. You and Joe have made this really cool space. Like, could you imagine this area without what you've created?
No, I think it's definitely like Broadway, like this specific area is like so perfect for us, and like we've been so embraced by the community, and like the BID, like the Business Improvement District, has been like so amazing to deal with, and they've given us like so many opportunities and like so much help, and like allowed us to do some murals and like helping like make the whole community feel more cool, right? And it's like how like we need to take note of that and do that in other areas, like give artists opportunities, because it does make a difference, like you said, like having those murals in those public spaces, like allowing creative people to thrive, giving people the opportunities like to thrive, and like helping people, and it's like it's a bigger picture, right?
And you could be like giving that artist their first mural, and then they go on to create more murals. Like I'm saying, like you're doing it, you're setting people up with the tools. Yeah. Right? You're their first step, or maybe they didn't have as much as drive or purpose before, and now they're figuring it out. They're figuring out what you need to make a mural, which is pretty frustrating and complex sometimes. And like a process, but like you gave them that opportunity, and it's so special. So thank you for being a constant supporter of creatives and coming up with this wonderful space. And it's very cool. Tell everyone where they can find you and reach you, and come check out your space.
You can come on down to Alt Haus. We're at 617A Main Street in Saskatoon in the Broadway area. Or you can go to althaus.ca, althaus.ca.
And at Alt Haus on Instagram?
At Alt Haus YXE on Instagram.
You can
check out Brandi's page, will be in there somewhere. if you forget. But,
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
So
thank
good
you so
to
much,
be here.
Brandi.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Please know that you can always reach out at Brandi Hofer Studios on Instagram anytime, and be sure to check us out on YouTube at Brandi Hofer Studios Color Me Happy, where we are now pouring a lot of free tips and a lot of fun information and every one of our podcasts on there. We also have our book, Color Me Happy, See Your Everyday Ordinary as Extraordinary, and our Color Me Happy community on Facebook, which is free to join, where we uplift members and we do member features as well as features our members on our Color Me Happy podcast. We can't wait to hear from you. Please share everything you're working on, and feel free to post in our Color Me Happy community any of your process shots or any questions you have for the group. We're happy to answer them in there as well. And we thank you so much for your time today. We sure do appreciate it. And have the most beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. If you're looking for some time for yourself to relax, release, and unwind, Oasis has the perfect space for you. They offer yoga and spin classes of all levels. Whether you are a beginner or advanced student, Oasis thrives on accommodating all aspects of the practice. Let their serene environment and gracious staff help you in your journey of peace, healing, and strength. Sign up online at www.oasishotyogastudio.com or by downloading the Oasis Hot Yoga Studio app. Feel like yourself. You deserve it. Thank you so much to our supporters and our community partners. We could not do this podcast and outreach and projects in our community without you. That is Red Bicycle Communications. They are so amazing. They uplift in so many ways in our community. Jill started her business and she talks about it on the podcast. So Jill Kelly, check out that first episode. She's come on a few times and empowered others along the way. So she's grown her own business and her vision, and she was even featured in the Toronto Star, I believe. Is that the right newspaper? Hopefully. It was very cool. It was a very cool business feature because she was like, I'm going to try this out in my community and we'll see if it works, and if it doesn't. And obviously it's been like probably more than a decade since, and they're doing really well, and they have founded the Women in Business Awards. So I'm very proud to be a partner with them. We have Nouveau Laser and Aesthetic Center. I love them so much. They make me feel good in my own skin. It's one of my biggest touch points and what I'm most self-conscious about. And I recently have been starting to get some of my tattoos removed that I got when I was 16 and 19. So obviously I didn't think those through, but it doesn't hurt, which was very cool and very surprising. So they are the only people locally who do tattoo removal, and of course, face treatments and a whole bunch of another like laser hair removal and an array of, you can do injections and a whole bunch of stuff. So check Nouveau out. We also have BioClean Disaster Services. They're so wonderful, and their mission is, I love their mission statements and their values. It's to uplift community through women and children. So what happened, and I remember talking to them about this when we initially partnered, is what happens when you empower females is they live a better life, and if they have children, then they raise better children, and that is the way that to empower community and growth and I guess like challenge the poverty cycle in a way. So so I love talking to them about that, and in our initial conversations of when they became a partner, and they have helped us along the way with mural washing and a lot of different projects around the city. So I love them so much, and they do a wonderful job because, I mean, it's for usually, like if your basement got a flood for some strange reason, like that's your most vulnerable time in your life, and they're there for you to help you through and ease any situation or help you in any way, because that is like when stuff like that happens, it's so like it's so frustrating. So they support people in that journey. And then we have Oasis and Hot Yoga Spin Studio, safe space for you to rest your mind and gain more energy and come back to yourself again. So I love it there. It's always been, it's a beautiful space. They have gorgeous plants and it'll just refresh you and revitalize you. We're so lucky to have them in our community. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll chat with you soon, my friends.